Let's do it.
Recording is in process. We can do epic shit with Nicholas Scudamore.
What's up?
How's it going?
It's going well, man. I'm really excited and honored to be on the podcast this week. I don't know. I've been looking forward to this all week. Let's roll.
Good. I am honored to have you on. I know we had talked about doing something special and life gets in the way. I feel like we should earmark that for next year when we will once again not do it, but think
Yeah.
that we'll do it. But it'll be
Oh,
great.
yeah.
So
That's like fantasy football in a nutshell. It's like, yeah, we should do this, and then we don't.
dude, there's so many times this year where I've woken up and been like, it's Wednesday morning. I didn't put a bid in for anyone yesterday. And then I look, it's like I could have used that. And so yeah, it feels like since COVID, just like days don't exist anymore.
Oh, yeah,
It's
100%.
yeah, it's just it's Saturday. It could be Tuesday. I have no effing clue.
I gotta say, I feel like this is one of my. I can't say it's my all-time best waiver wire year, but it's one of my. I'm feeling really good about how I've played the waiver wire this year, except for giving up Antonio Gibson. That's probably my biggest mistake because it turns out he looks like he might still have a decent role with the
Maybe.
Washington Commanders. So
Yeah, I mean they're still figuring stuff out right now.
oh, I mean, well, I think it's only positive. Taylor Heinicke is just throwing bombs, and then Dan Schneider's on his way out because he's going to probably have be federally prosecuted pretty soon.
Yikes.
So it's only uphill for the Commanders.
Well, it shows not only for the Commanders but for you. I mean, did you win this last week? Maybe not, but
no,
you're 6-3.
a tie for first. I'm in a four-way tie. I'm in a foursome.
That's right. You're in the foursome.
Who doesn't like being in a foursome?
Oh man, that's amazing.
That's what they call a double Eiffel Tower.
You're doing it that way.
Yeah, I mean, could be.
Right? I was thinking like Persian King style, where it's just 3-on-1.
You are so much more adept at me at these analogies. So I'm gonna go with your Persian. I think that sounds. What'd you call it?
Well, I don't know. I like double.
You are the person who introduced me and maybe the league to what a hot Carl is. So that's seared in my memory forever. And you know what? I'm better for knowing what it is.
Oh my god, hot! I haven't heard anyone say hot, warm, or cold Carl for a long time.
Is cold Carl the one where it's on a glass coffee table?
Yeah,
yep. Okay.
Yeah. Let's just stop there. No one that is tuning into this that doesn't know what it is needs. First of all, anyone that does not already know what it is, warning: do not look it up. Do not look it up.
That's not safe for work material. Do not look it up.
It's like you might just burn your phone afterwards. It's bad. It's bad. But yeah, congratulations, co-first person.
Yep.
Does it feel good? Do you feel safe?
No, this feels like the most frantic year of fantasy football yet for me. I don't know how the rest of the league is feeling, but it just is like I don't feel like anybody's safe. Like for as far as I'm concerned, like you could start winning out if all your players decide just to show up regard and like. Literally, you are only 4 games out of first place. It's not that insurmountable.
Right.
It's 5 games to go, isn't it? Because this week is 5.
What? You're right, because we have an extra week as of last year. Last year was the first time that we have up to week 14.
Nobody's out except for Frederick.
That's crazy. No, because Frederick is the same.
He's got 2. You guys both have 2.
No, we're tied right in the shitter. We are the brown Eiffel Tower, where you are the golden Eiffel Tower in this foursome.
If there was a year, what was yours? The Persian
King.
Yeah, is the king the one?
Yes.
Okay, well, you guys are definitely you guys. I think that should be if one of you guys loses out or takes dead last. I think you should have to have your team name next year Persian King.
I can't change it anymore.
No, for next season. I think the whole next season you have to rock the team name Persian King.
Can't change it anymore. Made a logo, made a hat. I'm gonna make a jersey.
Could you imagine what you could do for a logo with Persian King?
It would be great, and I'm pretty sure like I know that only like 4 people will see this ever. Uh, but if the fifth person sees it and that's the right person, canceled. Like,
We're never gonna get picked up by Barstool.
man. Darn it.
Actually, we still might.
Actually, if anyone, it would be that, and it would like,
And you got a Patriots. Is that a Danny Woodhead jersey?
baby, you know it's
Dude, you want to talk about a Persian king, Danny Woodhead. Oh
dude.
my God.
Still one of my favorite players.
If he
Just
was
those
in the league,
scrappy players.
if he was still in the league playing, I would fight you to draft him.
Yeah, I feel like uh, um it all went downhill after he retired, and everyone was just like, "Yeah, it's Burkhead." It's just like for like one season, it was Burkhead, and now he's still there, but he's just so old and slow.
Those smaller guys, they just get hit so much harder, and like
Yeah.
the position he was playing, like he's if he's I think he's probably like a step ahead of like Wes Welker. Like he's probably still okay. I'm
Yeah,
sure not to joke about it, still probably gonna have some CTE issues, but like, he didn't need to go to the Wes Welker route.
yeah.
So
Who is the running back for New Orleans?
Alvin Kamara, how is he in the league still?
So, well, yeah,
How is he in the league?
I
How
feel
is he
like
even allowed to play?
I
Rizzo's over
feel
here saying, I hope he scores 40 every week. Like, dude, you should be hoping that he doesn't get like he's still gonna play for you this week.
Yeah, I think that he's the closest thing that we have to Danny Woodhead today, except for Danny Woodhead. Danny Woodhead
What?
looks like you heard me. You can quote me on it. Danny Woodhead looks like the guy that would be like at an all night gas station, like the overnight shift. And
Oh,
Alvin
100%.
Kamara looks like he could be just like club gold chains and just like living life way too big. Big
Yeah,
enough.
like
I don't know.
way too big where he beats people. Specifically, yeah.
That's not good. Who
No.
was it that just came out about? Was that Alvin Kamara?
Yeah, dude, he's in
Oh
hot
shit,
water. Yeah,
that's right.
he's
I didn't even look at that video, but I just saw the caption. I wasn't sure if it was true.
I'm gonna check Rizzo's roster right now to see make sure he's still like even. Nope, he's still in. There's no issues.
Oh boy.
Oh
Oh
no, the
boy.
league office has declined to suspend Kamara, even with video evidence, and seemingly intends to wait until the legal process plays out before
Yeah.
considering a suspension and/or fine for the
I
running back.
mean, I mean that's
Due
that's their
process. That's
calling
the
card.
I mean, that's the
Their
American.
calling card.
That's the American way, and that's the NFL way. Due process will take its toll. So he's
The
playing.
the
He's playing on
only
borrowed time.
yes he is.
So hopefully Jason gets his wins now.
The only large corporation that doesn't cancel people right away before everything actually gets sorted out.
Well, and it's the New Orleans Saints. Like, I mean, this is what they're known for.
Yeah.
You can take who's the former head coach? He's not the head coach there anymore.
Oh, they
You can
made the
take
movie about him. Yeah, yeah.
you can take the Sean Payton out of New Orleans, but you can't take the Sean Payton out of the Saints. Like it's still those players are still there, and it's obvious.
Yeah. So usually the first thing that we do, other than what we just did, the kind of just like getting into it, is the recap of last week.
Oh yeah.
I have a couple of things, and then we'll do the special thing right after the recaps. But for players that balled out, there were two, really three. I'll give it three.
Joe Mixon. I mean, we
Boom.
Jesus.
Five, was it 5, 4 on the ground, 1 through the air?
Yeah, it's just
I'm almost positive that it was. You know what he was supposed to get that week?
nothing.
Like 15 points, like maybe 20. He got.
I still 101, but I am blaming Joe Mixon for Joe Burrow. Like he totally shafted Joe Burrow running in 5 touchdowns. Like Joe Burrow should have thrown 4 touchdowns and then he can run in 2. I mean, he did not need 55 points and whatnot. It looks a lot different. If Joe Burrow throws up 35 for me, I'm a little closer. I still lose, but whatever. I'm just sour about it.
Justin Fields is the number 2 person on the week that was absolutely nuts.
Did they still lose that game, Chicago?
No. To Miami? I'm pretty sure that they beat Miami.
Did. No way.
I think so. Didn't they?
I'll look it up real quick. But dude, I am interested to see where the Bears finish up this week.
Yeah, I heard a rumor basically that the Bears offensive coaching squad literally just went out and looked at old like quarterbacks that have rushing teams that have rushing quarterbacks, and we're just like, how are they successful? My question is, how do you not do that in last season's like off season uh
Well,
and
I got
last year
numbers
in
for you
general?
when you're ready.
Yeah, do it.
So here are the numbers. So Bears did lose. They lost 35-32 in a heartbreaker.
Oh wow.
Fields from 17 for 28. He's still not the best completion percentage. That's not all him. He's making more passes. He only threw for 123 yards. Um, 3 TDs though he threw for, so that's an improvement. Fields also he rushed for 178 yards. They don't even need a running back on that team. Justin Fields is the running back. One of those rushing touchdowns came from Fields as well. He
That's
averaged
nuts.
11.9 yards per carry.
That's nuts.
Who has him in our league right now? Is it you?
No, I think I had him earlier in the year, but the person that has him right now, good question. If I press trade, it brings me to don't hassle the Hoff.
Yeah, of
The
course it does. Of course Dan has him.
which I'm sure that he didn't play him. He must have played Kirk Cousins, or dropped whoever he played last week. But yeah,
Danny
that
Danny
is.
Danny Egypt, of course, is rocking is a Justin Fields.
I mean, he did not do great in Egypt as Meg predicted.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, she nailed it. Actually, she nailed most everything that she mentioned,
Oh, he did
which is
struggle that
amazing.
week, didn't he?
Yeah. So looking at last week, not we'll go from worst to first, kind of in the matchup. One thing that I did notice, there were only where did I put this? There were only 3 teams. There it is, that overperformed as to what they were predicted to have. Only 3.
We
John,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say ESPN predictions are so garbage.
They're garbage. A lot of them were close. Like Luke was over by 1.3 points. Most people were off by about 5 to 10. But on the low side, Bestian was over by 51 points, and John was
Wow.
over by 81 points.
You
And
know, you know
so, yeah,
what
go
I'm
ahead.
peeved about? I'm peeved about is that it took until this week for ESPN, the year-end standings. It took until this week for them to finally bump me up, and I've been in first. We're tied for it for a good part of the season now, and they barely let me bump up to number 6. I know everybody out there is probably, Beshan's like, yeah, your team sucks or whatever, but yeah, still the numbers don't lie. I may not have scored the most points, even close, and I may have the least points scored against me. But guess what? Luck is a huge part of fantasy football.
Luck is
And
a
I
big part of it.
and that is why I've won 2 championships. One year was pure luck. The second year was just pure domination.
Oh, I love that. Pure luck and pure domination.
Well, that's when I started 0-5, and then I ended up winning it. It's like one of the
That's
most
right.
historic
That
seasons
was
ever.
also the year of the running back, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I believe that's the year I had Jamal Charles, and I traded Dan for Adrian Peterson, who was just coming back from his ACL surgery, and everybody
Right.
thought he was done.
Oh yeah,
Turns
for
out he
sure.
was ready for the best year of his life, and I just wrote it all the way.
I think I actually have the newspaper still from the game that he set the record.
Dude,
Amazing.
just a guy.
So last week, you of course lost to uh who'd you lose to?
Oh, I lost the king of the
Oh,
hill,
Crowley.
Mister
Yeah,
Mister
yeah,
Josh Crowley, but my brother in red.
yeah.
So
Yeah, no, it was close, but a lower total for both of you, the same as you have Luke and Dan. Dan being away in Egypt, lost by 20 points to Luke. That brings them to 5-4, 4-5. You
mhm.
guys are both 6-3 now.
Oh yeah,
You and Josh.
yeah. I'm looking forward to a rematch with Josh. I'm not going to make excuses, but I would like to see my team versus him with Christian McCaffrey in the lineup. and without Joe Mixon, essentially vulturing 5 on the ground
Mm,
rushing touchdowns from my
mm.
boy Joey Burrow.
So
So
would you, if you were to put Christian McCaffrey, if you were to just say, I'll give you a certain amount of points for you and Mixon, McCaffrey and Mixon,
yeah.
what do you give each one as um you have to try to be accurate, and the other person can either accept or deny it.
So wait, what am I doing?
So McCaffrey, Mixon, if you
Yeah.
could just say, you know what, we don't even need to see him play. This is the amount of points. How much do you think they score in a given week?
McCaffrey was a fluke. Excuse me. Mixon was a pure fluke last
Of
week, and
course.
he's kind of been garbage the whole
But
year. I don't think John.
do you give him 25?
No, I don't. I give Joe Mixon 15 points.
I think this was a turning point, and I think that he's going to be 20 plus the rest of the season. Now,
I
that
hope
gets
that for
you,
John. I hope
yeah,
that for John, but I just don't see it.
that,
I truly
that,
don't see it. Joe Mixon is a very average running back. He goes down after the first hit. He's not good after contact. He's okay catching a ball. Clearly, he didn't catch. He caught 1 touchdown. He had to run in 5. That's not what I call versatile. They played kind of a garbage team. I mean, Carolina Panthers. Let's be honest.
yes,
Like, I want that coach to win so bad, but come on. I
not
mean,
this year, yeah.
our league maybe could rush in a touchdown on Carolina Panthers if we're on the half-yard line.
I don't say no to that. I
And
don't.
we have Cookie behind Rob, pushing Rob into the end zone with the football, and
I
the rest
like
of us
this.
just blocking. That'd
Oh,
be
I
a fun
like
thought
this.
experiment, right?
I want to be the wide receiver on the end just dancing because he's
Yeah.
not actually doing anything.
No, you're gonna be doing the cut. Who is the guy? It's Kadarius. Kadarius Tony,
Tony,
he's gonna have a sick rest of the year. I'm hoping big time on that. He had the sickest fake out I've ever seen in my life in the Chiefs game, and most of you guys probably didn't see this. Okay, first off, he was the first person targeted by Patrick Mahomes. Welcome to Kansas City. He was the first catch. He only had 2 catches the whole night, so whatever.
yeah,
But
but
after
still,
that,
first week of his career in Kansas City, right?
yes, he's going
Yeah.
to be a monster. He's going to be the second coming of Tyreek Hill,
Ooh, good.
but more versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Although I can't even say that. That's a lie. Tyreek is. It looks like the issue was Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. The issue, it was them, not Tyreek. Tyreek is on pace to have. He's over 1,000
Yeah.
yards already.
Yeah. Well, here's what I say about that is he is a big fish in a small pond in Miami. Like he has
Yeah.
Waddle, which is also a great wide receiver.
Mhm.
And Tua is showing true colors of being a really, really good wide
He
receiver.
he's still
Quarterback.
not the guy. He's still not the guy. Like
I
he's
think
not
he's the
gonna.
guy.
He's not.
I think he needs
He's
four
the
more years to
guy.
be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, like he's never going to be the guy who's going to take this team on their back. Like they have to have the pieces, and they have the pieces.
100%. But it's obvious that he is a really good quarterback that will be in the NFL for a long time,
If they
barring
can
injury.
protect him, and he doesn't scramble his brains any more than they already are.
Jeez. But I won my second game
Hey,
against
congratulations,
thank you
Burgart.
against Tim Kodiak Cookie Anderson.
Yep.
So that was a big one for me. I literally sometimes like even after during this year, even after the score is posted and it's like Tuesday, I'm still just like biting my nails, hoping that I don't lose, even though I was up by 20 points.
How does it feel having Austin Eckler? Like, what was your draft pick this year? When did you draft him 6 overall?
Yeah,
I mean, could you have called it any better? I mean, he is the top running back in the NFL right now.
he is. I think he is one of the reasons why I lost the first couple of weeks. Now that being said, he has been amazing. Week 4 on, I want to say I'm looking at his stats right now. Week 1, week 2, and week 3, he got me 11, 18, and 13 points. After that, he's pretty much got mid 20s to mid 30s every week. He is super consistent. He also, one thing that I really like about the team right now is he does not have everything on his back. They don't have any wide receivers, which means that he gets a lot of catches.
He kind of has a lot of like, if he doesn't have everything on his back, he has at least 50% of that team on his back.
Oh, 100%. Like he has a lot of it, but they use,
and the rest is Justin Herbert.
yeah, they use a lot of running backs right now. I think they have two other ones that they give the ball to give him time. So I feel like he won't get hurt, I guess is my point, is I don't feel like they're giving him too much each week to the point where he can't handle. I was trying to look at attempts and I don't think I can see it. Oh, carries. I mean, carries, he averages only 16 carries a game. But he gets like 8 receptions, which is exactly what I like. That's the Danny Woodhead numbers that we're looking for.
Yeah, if you also, I finally got my list. I'm so much better on my phone. I should have just did it on my phone than on the actual online. But like, if you take out Joe Mixon's 55-point game, and let's say you put him down to 15, which is what he's an average running back. He's an upper average running back, definitely an RB1, flirting with RB2. Like that knocks him down into like lower top 10 territory.
Yeah, I would say averaging 20 points is like the 10 to 12 spot right now for our running back.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah. So, and I think that's where he'll live, is between 18 and 25 points.
We shall see.
We shall see. The two biggies on the week, because I think I got everybody else. Rob won over Rosinski. And then you have Tim Bestian over Dale, who won 170 points to 96. It was a whooping. And then
Devontae Adams, and then you got to give it up to Bestian here. Like, God, Kenneth Walker, what a grab! That's a waiver wire addition, wasn't it? Because like,
oh yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think there's any chance that he was actually drafted. I think that he was picked up just in case.
He's starting Chris Olave, however you say his name. DeAndre Swift got hurt. Darren Waller is up and down all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh man. Like, Dalton Schultz hurt. He stole that. Dan should not have dropped Dalton Schultz. I guess he had to probably, but Dalton Schultz is good and he's going to be the guy there. But
you also have Tim that made really smart trades. Devontae Adams had a hell of a week. I think he was the number 2 wide receiver on the week.
Yeah.
And
prior to this week and prior to that trade, I would argue Tim Anderson's team, Cookie, he had the best set of wide receivers, and now I think it is clearly Bestian, Devontae, and Justin Jefferson. This is a nasty playoff team, especially if Kenneth Walker is going to keep doing what he's doing. Raheem Mostert is going to be battling for position in Miami because that's a running back committee. That's just gross, and he's got his bench is nasty. If any of those guys come back, that's going to be dangerous. Amari Cooper,
Amari Cooper and Jeff Wilson as backups right now in case someone on his starting roster gets hurt.
His wide receiver 3 would be Amari Cooper.
Isn't that nuts?
That's gross. It's still not as gross. It's still not as gross though as the high score of the week.
The high score of the week, good sir. Do you want to go ahead with it?
Yeah, we got John Strife coming in at 204.12 points. This is an anomaly, and to say that Chris walked into a buzzsaw this week would be an understatement.
Dude.
And just watching the noon games, maybe there's solace. I don't know how Chris feels or anybody else in the league feels about this, but at least if you know at noon that like there's no chance you're going to win.
Yeah.
You don't dwell the rest of the weekend watching games, losing time. It's not losing time watching football. It's fine. But you know what I'm saying? Like you can be done with it. You can move on. Like if you're Chris, it's just like, one, I asked John to leave my house politely. I'm like, hey, you have to leave now. and then 2, I just move on with my life, and I'm on. And then next week, flushing that turd down the toilet, and what else can we do? It's Sunday. It was a nice day. Maybe go for a walk. I don't know.
So, if you had to guess, 204 point, how many points? So many. 204 points.
12.
12. If you had to guess in the modern history of our league, uh, what does that rank in high scores? In high scores of the league,
I'm gonna guess it's third.
it is second. It
Oh,
is the second all-time highest amount of points scored in 1 week.
congrats to John. If I had confetti, I'd throw some right
I
now.
know, give him his flowers. Like it is amazing. So I thought in finding that stat that I wanted to find all of the teams that have made 200. And I am here to say that it's never happened twice in 1 year. It's only someone scored
So it's all
200
downhill.
points.
It's all downhill for John from here.
Right. It would be a super anomaly for anyone to break the 200 mark again this year. They're out of the last, let's see, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, and 17 out of the last 6 years, only 4 of them have a team breaking 200. The highest goes to Rob Murray last year in week 7 at 205 points, 205.14.
That's so gross.
If you think about it,
It's just disgusting. And Rob always has a team that does this too. I bet he's got a couple of the all-time high scores in the top 10, doesn't he?
He has one.
He only has one of them?
I know. No, here's the thing, Nick. We've played, I mean, in these
10 years. This is the 10-year anniversary.
Oh man. It's the it is 10-year anniversary of the modern, like I think it's been more like, well, Meg last year said that she was in the league in 2011, which means that I don't know if like you and like if there was a expansion from 10 to 12 teams during that time, which maybe you could argue that it's not, the same league. But I do think that we're either 10 or 11 years right now.
That's insane.
It's nuts.
It's so awesome though. It's so, I know we talk about it all the time. We all get sentimental and teary eyed and a little misty, but like, man, it is so cool and so rare. And
I think
I don't even
Molly,
have words, dude. I'm gonna start crying.
I think if Molly were to go to work on the day that she realized that something happened and this league wasn't happening anymore, she would have like wellness checks on me while she wasn't directly beside me.
Yeah.
She knows, she thinks that this is the coolest thing. And she knows that this means a ton to me and to all of us. So I agree completely.
Yeah. It'd probably, honestly, if I'm being brutally honest, it'd probably be like better for my mental health.
That's 100% of us.
Last year, I'm sure you're going through it this year. Last year was pretty dark for me, and I made a real bad trade, and that's an understatement.
Do you remember the trade?
I was completely sober, if I'm being honest, and it still haunts me.
What was the trade?
It's just really hard to say. I can't do it. I'm really sorry. I can't say it. I don't want to go there.
That's fine. I understand.
I traded away Tyreek Hill, and then I proceeded to change my team name to the player's name who I traded for, who I have his name blacked out from my mind. And
I totally understand.
I literally, Julie can vouch for this. I literally told her I have to either cancel my Hulu Live football subscription or I'm going to throw this TV out the window. I wasn't angry about it. It's just very matter of fact. And and so I canceled my Hulu TV subscription last year after making that trade. And I actually didn't watch games after that. I just looked at my phone every week.
That is, are you back to watching games?
Oh yeah. No, so I actually, you know what I did this year? I don't know what you do. I just got the Red Zone package on the NFL app on and you can only watch it on your phone, which is bullshit. But like, you pay $34 for the year and you get Red Zone, and I love it. I set my phone up.
Can you cast it to your?
Cannot cast. They turn off casting, those bastards. But like, but still, it's like it's $34 for the whole year, which is pretty cool. And I just set it up next to my phone when I'm doing stuff on Sundays or whatever, housework, or I'll just chill on the couch. And it's pretty nice because Julie doesn't want that blaring over the TV anyways. The whole day. Like she doesn't care for a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have like the Vikes or whoever is the actual team on, and that makes sense. But like Molly thinks that red zone just sounds like people yelling over each other, and there's too much change over and over. And I'm just
That's
like,
exactly
yeah,
what Julie said. That's
I know.
exactly what Julie
It's
said.
a
And I'm
it's
like, no, this is like the best thing that's ever been invented. You don't understand. We don't ever have to watch a commercial again. If there's a
right,
commercial, this guy probably gets fired.
right. It's literally like when they have a mass when they have a mass like halftime, like all the
Yeah.
teams are on it, they just show highlights of what happened in like the first half of the games, and that's it. It's
Hmm.
amazing.
And I
So
watch him. I watch him, even though I've already seen him.
I know I just saw all of them
Take
live.
my money. Take my money. Take it all.
So okay, in order,
Yep.
the 200 club. This is everyone that's ever scored.
Drum roll.
Last in 2017, because there was not one in 16 or 15. It is 200.08 points.
This is like the white buffalo list.
This is yes, the White Buffalo list.
Put this in
Josh
the history
Frederick.
books.
Yeah, Josh Frederick,
Wow.
2017, 200.08 points gets you on the 200. 2018, just 1 year later, it was Rosinski with 203.18 points.
Yeah, he's had a couple of stud teams.
Yeah. And I'm like, we were just talking about it, and we looked back, and you had in 2015, I just happened to be on there, 195 point something points. You know
I,
where that lands on the 200 list?
it doesn't.
Exactly. You can
Dude,
be so close and it means
it also is a testament to my level of luck in this league. Like
nothing.
I know I don't score a lot of points. Like you're looking at the guy, Chris will probably remember this. Sorry to sidetrack the list, the White Buffalo list, but like I remember my first fantasy football season being so psyched to play it. I've never played before. And I was talking over my picks with Chris and I'm like, oh, I think who should I draft first overall? I had first overall pick. And I drafted the running back Sean White of the New York Jets at the time. Exactly. And Sean White,
Yeah.
this is ESPN projected him to be the best running back this year after having no reason to do this. And I didn't know.
Right.
I started Joe Flacco at quarterback. I think halfway through the year, Mark Sanchez, and then Sean White. Sean White was my first overall pick, who I don't think he had a game better than 15 points the entire year. I think at a certain point I dropped him to waivers.
Oh,
It was a baptism by fire that first year in fantasy football with you guys. But sorry.
yeah.
Anyways,
No,
so
no, no.
we were number
It's
9.
beautiful.
Who's number 8? We had Frederick then.
So in the 2007 season, 2017 season, it was Josh Frederick, 200.8 points.
Wait, he's on this list twice?
No, no, no. That
Oh,
was
sorry,
the
sorry,
first
sorry,
one.
sorry, sorry. Got it.
2018, just recap. Jason Rosinski, 203.18 points. Robbie Murray in 2001. We skipped 2019 and 2020. No 200 list people. 2021, week 7 is the highest points ever scored, 205.14 points. And John this
Great
year,
White Buffalo. Great White Buffalo.
this year, this last week, week 9, joins those other 3 superhumans, Josh Frederick, Jason Rosinski, and Robbie Murray. John Strife is now number 4 on that list and number 2 of all-time highest score in one game.
Big points for a big personality. God, that's awesome.
Boom.
There it is. There it is. That's a great White Buffalo list.
Yeah, it is.
You know, when you're going over that, I was thinking about Jason's teams. He's had some runs. If you're again, I assume you're comfortable with this. If you're the bridesmaid, Jason has been, I feel like he's been in that Final Four multiple times and then gotten burned.
Oh,
in that
yeah.
Final Four.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I don't know how many times that Jason and I have had to square off to get to that last match, but I know that it's more than once.
If you're the bridesmaid, I don't know what that makes him. Does that make him like the usher or something like that? It's like seriously, he's been in that Final Four probably more than as much as anybody in the league.
Yeah, that would be a good one to look up. But yeah,
that's a good note.
Yeah, I mean, it is it is nuts. Thinking about like
God, you,
I scored. There was a person this week that also scored like 68, and that is just as like that is just as easy to do something like that as it is to score 120 points. Like that, like literally, it's a different day for a few people. Or I'm sure that person probably had a couple of bye players, but uh, like it's nuts. And I think there was a 90 that won this last week.
oh
Uh,
yeah, it's
which
all luck. Who do you get? If you're lucky, you're going to get in those low scoring affairs, and you can
yeah,
eke one out.
yeah,
Maybe that
yeah, yeah,
happens
yeah.
to you 7 times in a season, and then you get hot in playoffs. That's all that needs
That's
to
all
happen.
that if baseball teaches us anything, it's just making the playoffs is what gets you there. I know the Astros still beat the Phillies, but the Phillies were there with the lowest amount of games won getting into the playoffs. So just get there and figure it out from there.
Dude,
Um,
I don't know if anybody follows the stock market, but like Jim Cramer totally tanked the Phillies.
really?
Yeah. So there's this thing called the inverse Kramer, and it's the
No.
guy like on CNBC or Fox or something who does their stock show. And he goes, "I'm a Phillies fan. Everything Kramer predicts tanks the next day." Like he said, Facebook Meta
Yeah.
was going to like, "This is it, go all in." And he was like almost crying on live television, apologizing because Meta tanked so hard this last week, and now they're laying off 50,000 employees, which isn't funny. That sucks.
No, no,
But
no. But yeah, yeah.
it's kind of funny.
He's the
But
Reaper.
and then he posts before I think game 7, he posts in his office, "Let's go Phillies, full Phillies gear." Kramer say and did you know this fun fact? The 3 times previously in history there's been a stock market collapse, the Phillies have won the World Series.
Hey, they didn't
He
win.
he did the inverse Kramer. So his inverse of calling the Phillies winning made them lose. Astros win. Maybe we're not going to go into a total recession. Some are arguing that we're already in the recession.
So
But
could you? I guess you could say that it's Kramer's fault that we won't be in a recession.
yeah, but I mean that would be a good thing,
Yeah,
probably.
of course.
Although
So
it's
yeah,
just natural, but whatever. We could talk about that for hours. You know, it's funny. I was looking back through the league history, talking about other patterns. We got Jason, who's been in the 4 a bunch.
yep.
I Luke should get an award for. I don't want to dog on Luke. Luke, I'm not dogging on you, man. It's just how many times did Luke have Andrew Luck on his team?
Oh, yes, a lot of teams,
That's
but
and that's a good call. But and this leads me to another story. Like, do you think there's more to Andrew Luck getting out of the Colts organization and retiring from football than just he got a few concussions? Like, obviously concussions are bad,
yeah,
but like Jim
no,
Irsay is just announced Jeff Saturday as the head coach of the Colts.
yeah.
Like, that's not a normal organization. Like, yeah, we have the Washington Commanders, but maybe the Colts aren't that far above that.
I was thinking about that today when I heard that news that they put basically a person that's never coached before, and we actually have very modern equivalents of that have failed with the
Urban
player
Meyer.
that who.
Urban Meyer. He was a coach, but he
Oh yeah,
sucked.
yeah, yeah. No, no, Steve Nash.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the Brooklyn Nets.
I mean,
Oh
they
my
just
God.
fired him. He was never a coach before he was the head coach for that team. And so, yeah, I hope that he has better luck. But I feel like this is the start of like, oh, what's
This
the
is the
baseball
start of a
movie with
tank.
Wild Thing? Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
baseball movie with Wild Thing? It's
Oh, dude, I know. It's not League of Their Own.
no, oh, yeah, yeah, but it has something to do Major League.
Yeah, Major League. There we
So
go.
Major League and Ted Lasso have one thing in common, and it's the owner brings in someone that is going to lose, like a coach that they think is going to just make it lose
To
and
tank.
to tank, to tank completely. And it could be that this could be the next one that is made as this is the football equivalent
It's
because we
so
already
bad.
have
Why not let
baseball and
Matt
soccer.
Ryan finish the year off? Because he at least he's gonna throw 5 picks a game, but at least he can throw the football. I mean, for the love of God, for the love of Antonio Pittman, my wide receiver. I mean,
Yeah,
haha, for Bestion for laughing at me for drafting him in the second round. You're right, Bestion.
I mean, do you remember we almost traded Pittman for the Chargers main
No, but
guy?
now I remember, and now wishing I would have taken that at the
Oh, do
time.
you?
He was coming out.
Because he scored 0 points. I'll take that back. 11. He scored 10 points in the first game, and one game after that, he scored 1 point.
Jesus.
So you're still up. You're still
How,
up.
there's just so many weird things like that going on in the NFL this year. I don't know if it's like we're getting older, and we've been watching football too long, where we still think these guys are good, or like what are we missing?
Yeah.
Or it's just the cycle of players starting to suck. Because like Keenan Allen's been in the league for like ever, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
Because he was on the
I think
Chargers
he
when they
was
were
on,
still in San Diego.
I think that he was on one of my first, I took him in his rookie season and he also got hurt, but I want to say that's like 2016.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So going over player acquisitions that happened, there was a $22 player in, do you know it?
Nicole Hardman.
McCole Hardman.
Because I bid 21.
He lost by $1.
Well, here's what's dumb though is I had him on my roster 2 weeks ago, dropped him because I thought Kadarius Toney's going to be the promise boy. Then I realized that Nicole Hardman has 5 touchdowns on the year, and maybe he's the promise boy. I don't know.
I think that you're right with Tony, though. I think that it might take a couple of weeks to get him in, but Hardman was a bit of an anomaly this last week, but he has been good.
5 TDs on the year. This is a career year for Nicole Hardman. I think the guy is, and he is. They used to compare him to Tyreek. He was like one step slower than Tyreek, and that's why Tyreek was better than him. And we're seeing that, like, because Tyreek is like too fast for the NFL. Like he could slow down a little bit and he'd still be the best.
Yeah.
Like McCall Hardman's like he's clearly like when he goes full speed, he's clearly faster than anybody that's guarding him.
So he's amazing, but there's something about him that obviously he doesn't quite have what those other guys have. He is good. I feel like he's a very straight line guy where he's not a route tree.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head there, Burgard.
So there was a player taken that was a defense that was the second highest paid player this week. Chris Strife paid $18 for the Saints defense.
I didn't want to comment on that.
Well, I think that right now Chris is lost. Chris just lost this week, and I think he feels like it's a must-win week. And the Saints playing the Jaguars is 10 plus points, like 15, 16 points.
Are the Saints playing the Jaguars this week? I don't think they are.
Or no, sorry, he dropped the Jaguars. Oh, where are they playing? Playing Pittsburgh. That's just as bad.
I mean, that's interesting. Those are scary games though, because they're two teams that suck, and anything is it's like watching like pigs wrestle in the mud. You don't know who's gonna win. And it could get bad real fast, and one team could get lopsided and just start going. And obviously, for Chris's sake, I hope it's the New Orleans Saints. And I think they're probably going to be a little hotter if Jameis coming back this year?
I think right now he technically is back, and they're not playing.
Oh, really? They don't want him to eat those dubs, huh?
I don't know. Maybe it's their choice when he comes back. And
if I had Jameis on my team, I'd be eating W's. I mean, the guy just throws balls.
He would also throw 2 interceptions a game, but 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I'm in.
Math. Hey, that math checks out in my brain.
I picked up.
I'm not a mathematician, but it checks out. Okay, I don't know who that is.
He is the backup running back for Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Najee Harris has not
what
been
a rough
great.
year. No,
what a rough year.
He's not the guy.
And so they're giving Warren the ball a lot more. I'm pretty excited about that one. Jimmy Garoppolo went for $9.
That was me. I needed to make sure that I got a quarterback, and I know that might have been an overspend, but he was at the top of the list, and so people are going to see his name if they need. Like the bye weeks, is it me or the bye weeks like all bunched up in these 2 weeks right now?
Dude, in the last 3 weeks, it's been like 15, 16 of the teams.
Good news is most of my team's been on bye, so I'm going to be good from here on out.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I
mean, they should think about that for the sake of fantasy football. I think we've talked about this before. Why is there not a league-wide bye for 2 weeks? Like, hey, we're going to take a week or 2 off in the middle of the season.
I would not
Everybody
have
hear
thought of
up.
that. I would think it would make more sense to have the NFL do like 4 teams a week for 8 weeks.
Okay. But I'm thinking like let's be honest, the NFL stays afloat because of fantasy football, right?
I mean, yeah,
And
we are.
massive cable TV deals. But obviously it's us keeping the NFL afloat.
Yeah.
Leagues like us, right? That's a slow like for real, that should be a shirt. God.
Leagues like us.
Leagues
Laugh.
like us. We're keeping I will buy that shirt. There's another idea that we need to capitalize on at some point, making league shirts.
I mean, we could have a live, laugh, love shirt that also said leagues like us.
Dude, I would also chip in for like a sick promo video of our league playing like the NFL old school theme song and like us like rushing over couches and stuff like that. I would
Yeah,
pay money for somebody to shoot that and do that. I would chip in
sounds
on
pretty
that.
good. Maybe even our own team like song that like most teams would run into. For us, it's just in the background.
And then at the end it just goes leagues like us running the NFL. Laugh.
I love it. Let's
Live,
well,
love, laugh.
do you have love love? Do you have a commercial for us this
A commercial for us
week?
this week?
Yeah.
Dude, I think that was it.
Oh, I see. I like that. Commercial number one. Commercial number two. No, I like that one. I like that one. Run with it. It's our commercial for this week. It is what did they used to call
What do
that?
you normally do with these commercials? I might have missed a couple of the episodes.
That's just fine. We've done stiff socks. We've done softball for old men. We've done whiskey in general. We did beer logoed stuff. And I think this week will be brought to you by like Real Men of Genius, where it's just, do you remember those old
Yes.
beer commercials? Real
Yes.
Man of Genius. It was amazing. And so here's to you, Mr. Fantasy Football Guy, the one that makes his own trailer for his team and ends up creating a song just for them.
It's leagues like us that keep the NFL going. Laugh, live, live, love, laugh.
Mm. Yeah, I love it.
Man.
So
stiff socks, Jesus Christ! You find them under your bed.
I think I actually took the cardboard out of it. Like,
dude, no.
last
Has
week.
anybody done a cream pie one yet?
We have not. Would you like to do a quick
I'm
commercial
really
for cream pie?
surprised that Chris did not do that. Or anybody.
Well, Chris was on week 1 and I did the commercial.
That's true.
And so he will probably be after everyone goes again.
Okay.
We'll have him come.
Maybe we save. I'll let Chris have the cream pie.
Perfect. Hopefully he doesn't pick hot Carl's. So this upcoming week,
yes.
How does your squad? What do you think?
Okay, so we're kind of going in predictions here. We'll start with this one.
Yeah.
I got Luke this week. I'm playing Najee by nature. Prediction is tight. I don't think I can recall a week where I've ever been predicted in my history of blowing somebody out. We're tied at 50% win rate. I got Jimmy G picked up. I'm really banking on the fact this week in this matchup. If you look at our matchup, so we got the San Francisco 49ers playing the LA Chargers. Luke is heavy on Herbert this year. Who wouldn't be? I almost wanted to draft the guy early. Kind of glad I didn't. No offense, Luke. But with that being said, if Herbert totally shellacks the San Francisco 49ers with your boy Keenan Allen, I'm in trouble. But I'm banking heavy on the fact that Garoppolo to McCaffrey, maybe he's going to have a week where instead of being lame and rushing in 5 touchdowns like Joe Mixon last week, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to throw 4 touchdowns to Christian McCaffrey. Or maybe Christian McCaffrey throws a touchdown to Jimmy Garoppolo in the corner. That could happen. So
yes, absolutely.
From those two guys, and I'm going to do some Chris Strife estimation here. I'm probably expecting a minimum on this is the low end. On the low end, I'm expecting 65 points to come from those two guys together. On the high end, I mean, they could easily to combined. You could look at 80 points just from those two guys.
I love 80 would be pretty much the top two. I guess that would be more like 95, but it would be like two of the top four players in the league.
Well, it just if they're just playing catch to each other, it could happen.
I can see it.
It's a reach. Again, I'm not saying I'm banking on 80 points. Like I said, 65 to 70 is more likely from
I
those two
do.
guys.
65 would be, I like that number because it would be like 41 and 24, which both seem like achievable things.
Oh, here's a commercial. The way I figure this math is I went to the Chris Drive School of School of Estimation and or School of Prediction.
Right.
And since historically Chris obviously used to do all the league write-ups, now replaced by this wonderful podcast and whatnot. So I took a lot of that estimation skill from those early write-up days. But besides that, I like my chances.
Can I just say the only thing going through my mind right now is Chris Strife's school for, what'd you call it? Estimating?
Prediction. Yeah.
Predictions. Yeah. For predictions. And then in my mind, it just went for special.
call this 1-800 number now.
Right.
I'm imagining like Cleo,
oh,
like the
Cleo.
Oh,
that's awesome.
So I right now I have Kadarius Toney in too, and that's pending. I got a move or two. I'm thinking about swapping some players out. Luke, hopefully you're not listening to this. But anyways, we'll see what happens. I'm riding Philly D all year long. They should be the number one D in the league. They got the softest schedule, those dirty birds. Vikes will get their ass in playoffs if we play them again. Yeah, so Dante Foreman, I need him to have a good week with Carolina. They're playing Atlanta. It should. Luke's team, I'm very nervous about Tyler Lockett, the one who will not be named. Seattle, they're hot. I am going to predict here that it's a close one, and I come on top. It's going to be like 106 to like 105. I think it's. Ooh. I have tight matchups every week. I think this one's going to be no exception. I am going to pick myself, being the one who's doing the predictions. Luke, sorry, not sorry. But could go either way. But I'm going to eke it out by a point or two in the end, as is my tradition.
I love it.
All right.
I will go over my team really quick.
Yeah, Town Bombers versus Dale's bargain bin sale. God,
I feel like Dale has gotten the short end of the stick with this season. One of the reasons Dak being hurt for so long, but Dalvin Cook. And
I'm sorry, Dak was not going to save his team.
No,
I'm going to say.
But I think that Cook is underperforming a lot because of their new coach wanting air raid. Their new coach is throwing the ball much more. He's using Dalvin as the workhorse runner that he is, and he just doesn't catch very many passes anymore. I do think that he is still a very good running back to have. I think that he's the very top category of running back twos.
God, I just looking at last week's scores. Dale, God, he ran into a buzzsaw too.
Sure did. Sure, he didn't score that many points himself, but it doesn't matter who played him except for one person. He was getting beat.
But look at it, like it last week. If he plays 5 other teams, Dale would have won.
Agreed. No,
So what was your? Sorry for interrupting. What was your prediction?
Well, for me, Eckler is looking good. Pierce is looking great.
Yep.
Palmer or Allen or a combination of those two are going to be in. Lazard is looking good. Squad is looking up. I think that there are points to be had with this squad, and I am happy with it. Dulcich will be in for Ingram. I'm pretty happy about that. I put myself above. I think that I win this, and I think that I win it by double-digit points. But I'm talking like 10.5, 11.5. I think I just squeak out a nice win where I'm comfortable and I'm not biting my nails over one catch.
Ooh. I think this is gonna be
who do you got?
This is a toss-up, dude. Like seriously. It really depends who shows up for you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Dale's team has kind of turned a corner a little bit.
Last week was the first week that James Conner was back, and he did look good. but looking good also scored him a whole 11 points. So I feel like his running backs are good on a weekly basis for 40, 50 on a good week between the two of them. And I think that there's 50 more points in there somewhere. So I'm going to put
Yeah.
him right around 100, and I think I squeak at like 110.
Yep. I think that's a safe call.
Yeah. I've thought
Yeah.
about it once or twice this week.
I'll go with you on that one, Burgard. I'm going to give the win to
Mm,
Burgard.
I'm glad that I could convince you. Who's
You
your
pulled me
next?
over.
Who's your next crew?
We got Gritty on Your Mama's TDs versus
Yes,
Don't
sir.
Hassle the Hoff. This is my most interesting matchup of the week.
Love
Okay.
it.
And when I look at these every week, just because, obviously I want to see what scenario has to play out where I hold into first place or stay in playoff contention. And I'm really pulling for Dan this week. The way I'm making these predictions on people I need to win, it's nothing personal against you, Bestian. I need Dan to win, so we keep the status quo. Okay, we don't need somebody jumping way ahead into first place. I think my other co-first place people will agree with me and understand the similar sentiment. So I'm going to go with Don't Hassle the Hoff just purely for selfish reasons.
Mhm.
And
Not bad, not bad.
I'm going to say Don't Hassle the Hoff has a slightly better week. God, I just don't like his team.
I mean, there's
I'm also still bitter he beat me by 0.8 in the first game of the year. So sorry.
I do know that his wide receiver two on last week was on the waiver wire like the day before he played him. So
It's just weird because like Tampa Bay got so bad, so now Fournette's bad. And
yes, they're in a rut for sure. I think they'll come out of it. Montgomery doesn't want to be running on that team, and he's
I'm
sharing
sur-
it.
I'm surprised he doesn't have my boy Antonio Gibson in though, because like he would probably be an okay put in over Leonard Fournette, but maybe I'm smoking something. But
I weren't they on bye last week?
they were,
Nope.
but this week they should be good to go again.
No, they
Gibson's in.
weren't. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
So
Wait,
anyways, I'm
we
gonna
played
go.
them last week.
Yes, correct. We lit them up. Well, we didn't light them up. We pulled it out. We pulled it
We
out.
won by 3 at the end.
Yeah, and a penalty. So, but
Yeah.
hey, we wins a win. So I'm gonna pick Don't Hassle the Hop. I'm gonna say Dan throws up 115. I'm gonna say it's a down week this week. There's no way it's gonna be a down week for Bestian, but I'm gonna say somehow it's a down week for Bestian. Dan throws 115. Bestian throws up 100.
Wow. Uh, if I had to bet on someone this week having the high score, it's Tim Bestian. And due to saying that, I can't say Charlesworth is going to beat him because he would be the higher score. So I
Your
know what you're
your
saying.
your picks are probably gonna be more unbiased than mine currently.
Well, I that's 50% of my picks right there, and the first one was myself. So I think you are correct. This one is my most interesting game.
Really?
Kinda, yeah. And here's the thing: why is John supposed to get under 112 points on this week? What don't I know?
Let's look at this matchup and I'll tell you.
John just scored over 200 points.
But again, Joe Mixon's a fraud, as we already
Okay.
talked about. Okay, Joe Mixon is a fluke. Well, hopefully you can't hear that. Sorry, I got to add to my screen. I hope that didn't blare over.
No,
Anyways,
not at all.
okay. Anyway, so it looks like the reason
Joe
is
Mixon's
because
on
Joe Mixon's
bye.
on bye. This is why John is suffering the bye week blues.
Miles
And
Sanders isn't terrible though.
no,
Not he's probably more like a flex, maybe
he's not
running
the
back
guy
two.
that John has two Philly running backs in. This is why he's only predicted at 111.
There you go. But he gets 100% of your running.
Yeah, that's a bold strategy. I really like it. Let's see if it plays out this week. I'm going to go with San Francisco 40-0ers this week. One, I love the team name. Two, Cooks, my homeboy.
I also just love the idea of this just arc of getting 204 points and losing, scoring like 96 the next week.
I think that would poetically describe what fantasy football like is this year.
Yes.
It is highs and lows like we've never seen before. That's what I'm feeling like. Well, I'm right in the middle, scoring just very average points like I always have, but everybody else seems to be high and low.
Yeah.
I got to go with San Francisco Zeroers this week, and it's going to be I'm going to say he gets 96.4 points, the zeroers, but Benevolent Elephants gets 92 points.
Love it. I love it. I'm with you 100%. Uh, Godspeed Jamar Chase, but I
Dude,
mean,
no, oh my God.
this is his bye week too, and so I think that we see something pretty fun that happens between these two teams. So that's mine to watch, but on like a different level,
Mhm.
on like a how low can you go, the limbo type level.
Yep.
I think that this one coming up right here, Luke and oh no, we already went over there. You
Rob,
guys,
dude, I always do that too, though. I read How I Met Calf Your Mother, and I think that's Luke's team for some reason because he
yeah,
had DK Metcalf for the last couple of seasons. I
yeah,
do the exact same thing every time I read these. I go, "Why is Luke playing?" No, I just played Luke. No, it's not because it's Rob.
it's
So the
Rob,
only reason I know that is because of the Chewbacca sticker.
Rob and Chris, Chewbacca sticker,
Student
and
death.
yeah, uh, I
Dude,
think
you know what? Mad props first off for Chris to sticking to that name. Sitting death.
for sure without the guy in your team.
Well,
Oh no, he's on him,
he's
Cortland
on his
Sutton.
team, but he's just very,
Bad.
he's eating too many danger witches out in Denver, I think.
Yeah, I am
He
looking at his
started out
scores right
good.
now. The
He started
last
out good.
he started out as a flex.
Yeah.
11,
Well,
19, 17, 16, 12. That's a flex.
he would have started on my team. I have horrible receivers though. So,
Well,
um,
low wide receiver team.
yeah, we'll say that. God, this is a tough one. I think Josh Allen's hurt this week, and I think that plays a big role. Chubb is at Miami, which is not great for Cleveland. Miami just wins. Cordero Patterson, he's back. I don't think he's going to have immediate impact. Stephon Diggs, if Josh Allen's not thrown to him, I don't think about. But okay, who's the backup in Buffalo? Our boy Case Keenum, right? So
Oh,
Case
he's
Keenum
pretty
is,
good.
yeah, he's thrown to Diggs a few times. Minneapolis
Yep.
Miracle.
Yep.
George Kittle's gross,
Not
but
him.
yeah, he's not the guy. LA Chargers, are they going to cover? Chargers defense should be so much better than it is. I don't understand it.
Uh-huh.
Marshall, I don't even know who that is. T. Marshall Jr.
No
Uh,
clue.
Jonathan Taylor, I think they have a defensive guy or they have an O lineman calling the plays this week. So I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have his best week in like 5 weeks this week.
Agreed.
Saquon Barkley's going to run through Houston, but here's the issue: they're going to get ahead so hard because of Saquon that they're going to sit him the last quarter probably because they don't want him to break because he's a piece of glass. Scary Terry, probably my favorite wide receiver in the NFL because just a good dude. Sutton, who knows? Ertz, ridiculously consistent.
Yep.
I got to give the nod to Sutton. No, I'm going to be petty again this week. I got to give the nod to How I Met Calf Your Mother. Josh Allen plays. It's a high scoring affair against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
Um, and I'm going to go How I Met Calf Your Mother wins this 125 to Sudden Death going 120. I'm going to go really close scores this week for everybody.
Yeah. I will say the opposite. I think score wise too, but I think you nailed the scores. I think it's mid 20s to low 20s, like a 2019 kind of a thing.
Mm.
And I give it to Sutton Death, and I think it's because Jonathan Taylor had his best week of the year this week because a lineman is calling his, oh, not calling his plays, but deciding that they're going to use that
I
line.
guarantee we're going to hear from their new head coach this week, Saturday. Have to establish run game. Classic
Oh,
football line. He's a football
classic.
guy. He's a
Yeah.
football guy. He's going to say it. That means Jonathan Taylor. It's in the cards. Chris, your boy Jonathan Taylor's going off this week. I still think How I Met Your Calf, Rob's going to pull it out.
Yeah.
Burgart is split here. He thinks Chris is going to pull it out. What we got next?
It is Josh Crowley and Jason Rosinski. It is once again like a big like those 120 battles for me. That's a lot to project someone to get. 120 is not nothing. Like I think 120 is probably going to get you top 4 each week.
120 wins it this year unless you run into John Strife throwing up 204 on you. Like 120 is a very good score this year for our league. Some years it's like you got to be in the 140s. Some years it's
or even some weeks. Like some weeks
yeah.
it's just especially early before buys. some weeks it's like, oh, I scored 120 and I lost by 30.
I really think Kamara is going to get indicted and not play this Sunday.
Mm,
I think there
that would
could
be
be.
quick for how it usually happens.
Yeah, you're right. That probably won't happen. That's
But
probably
I
a bad
think that it could
call.
be by the end of the year. I think it
Yeah.
could be within 2 months.
Maybe the Me Too movement overwhelms the New Orleans front office and they just sit Kamara or they cut him. So that could be a case, just like they shipped Kareem Hunt out of KC like that, even before anything happened or got charged against him.
Also a backup running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so if they ship Kamara out of there, they just make him a free agent. They say we won't have someone that does that stuff on our team.
He goes
What?
to Cleveland.
He goes to Cleveland. Oh my
That would,
God.
that
I
would be
love
so
that.
great. That would be so wild. Can you imagine that for 3 running backs? How mad would they all be? Oh my God. Nick Chubb would still be better.
Yeah. Oh, Nick Chubb is a train. He is a train that goes 50 miles an hour in one direction. He's not that fast. But he's steady. He's just so good. Like
Hmm.
you can hang your hat on 15 to 25 points a week. And you know what? That averaging to 20, that is going to be a number one wide receiver, a top 12. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I love it. I think
I,
I end
I
up
gotta go
giving
to oh man, sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
I just gonna say I want to be petty about it and I want Jason to win, obviously, to keep the status quo and keep the four-way the Persian King going on in the top four. Um it's really hard for me to pick Jason over Crowley this week.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
I'll do it for you
Do it.
because
You
I
go
picked
first.
Jason. I picked Jason.
Oh,
And here's the thing.
tell me, hey, let's call it right now. This is your underdog pick of the week. Say it.
This is my little man shows up big, but it is because I don't know why, but I feel like 3 players on his team are gonna have down weeks, and with having Chubb in there, Chuba Hubbard, that is, I think Tua and Hill have down weeks. I don't think that they're bad. I think that they're lower than expected. And so I think between the two of them, they get like 35 points together. And due to that, Derrick Henry gets 35, that's 70. The whole bottom there ends up getting him about 100. And I think that Jason, I don't know why, but I know he beat me with Josh Jacobs. Hawkinson is now the major piece of the offense for Minnesota. Like I
Yeah.
think he was 9 for 9 and close to
Oh,
100 yards.
kudos for Jason for starting a Vikings player, by the way. That's a really big step, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. But I think that this ends up being the replacements team. This ends up being Keanu Reeves as the quarterback for the replacements, and they end up pulling it out. And
Look at this pattern we have going on here too. We saw this with John's team. So John had 2 Philly running backs starting. Jason's
yep.
he has the bold strategy here of 2 San Francisco wide receivers. It
Oh
could work
yeah.
out. It could work out. They're a high flying offense. I really
Yep.
love Debo Samuel. Unfortunately, I think there's too much offense there because let's be honest, it's now Christian McCaffrey's team. The offense runs through him.
I do think that that helps Debo because
Yeah, but is the
you
target share going to be there? If McCaffrey's getting 40, 40 plays a game. Is that there for Debo Samuel?
I think since it's Debo Samuel, I think that it's those two are gonna eat. Everybody else starves.
Yeah, I love Debo
Yeah.
Samuel. I really wanted to draft him.
So good.
Here's the thing too. I think LA Rams, who's the big corner guy on the LA Rams? I think they can finally cover DeAndre Hopkins. It doesn't mean that they're going to win the game
Yeah.
against Arizona, but I think I think DeAndre Hopkins finally becomes a non-issue, which I wish would have happened last week, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Because DeAndre Hopkins is just a nasty human.
Yeah.
Biggest hands in the world. Oh my God. So, anyways, I'm gonna go with Jason too. I'm gonna jump on the
Yeah.
Burgart bandwagon.
Yeah.
I'm going with Jason just purely because Burgart picked him. I don't honestly think he's gonna win, but I'm going with Jason because I want it to happen.
Beautiful.
And I'm
Well,
still bitter. I'm still bitter, Crowley. Sorry, not sorry.
What are you looking for your team?
What am I looking for
Right.
my team? Like
Tis
like
the trade
acquisitions.
floor. So,
So I don't think anybody's gonna trade with me. It's like if I had to trade, like I would want like a big time wide receiver.
yep.
What I want for my team is I have a lot of prospects on my bench, and I want those to come to fruition. That's what I'm manifesting right now.
Mm,
Okay, my boy Kyron Williams is going to come back, and he's going to breathe life into LA Rams. Um, Devin Duvernay takes over as a clear wide receiver one. Last week was a fluke; could happen to anybody. They still won. He's going to be getting 2 tutties a game. And he's going to be doing his thing there. It's going to be like the second coming of Steve Smith. Again, everybody laughed at me when I drafted Steve Smith when he went to the Ravens. Guess
yeah.
what? He was like the fourth best wide receiver that year. Also, I think helped me almost win a championship. Might have been on one of my championship teams. Can't remember. And then my boy Jacoby Myers, he's on bye this week. Oh, he is really blossoming finally. He's a New England wide receiver. You guys probably don't know who he is. Maybe you're laughing in the background. That's fine. Isaiah Pacheco.
Yep.
Why is Jerick McKinnon still getting so much gameplay at Kansas City? He doesn't do anything. He drops balls. He gets 1 yards at a time, like he did for the
hmm
Vikings.
hmm
No, he actually had a pretty good run with Vikings. I should take that back. Sorry,
He
Jared.
gets hurt a lot though.
Yeah, he gets hurt. He's going to get hurt. He's getting you 1 yard at a time. Isaiah Pacheco runs so violently with reckless abandon into the opposing line. He is going to break free and be rushing 100-yard touchdowns. I'm just happy I scooped him up for almost nothing off waiver wires. I think maybe $1 or 2.
Yeah.
So my boy, that's what I'm really hoping for is internally my team is going to finally self-actualize their full ability and continue to just lay down pipe on the rest of the league for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I do think that you definitely got on the luckier side with like Devontae Foreman right now
Yep.
with that position coming up, and not only just the workload now being there since McCaffrey left, but I think he's just good. Like I
Dude,
think that genuinely he's good.
does he not look like a Marshawn Lynch
He
second
does.
coming? But
He
maybe
does.
he can go side to side better, maybe than Marshawn can. And the guy just runs so hard. Oh my God. Like
That is what I think of when I think of
I'm
Marshawn
afraid for
Lynch.
the other guys when he
Yeah.
runs into them. Like that's when, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like beast. I thought I heard a beast quake out there again, man.
I love that. Well, yeah, I mean, I really do think that you have a solid squad as well, especially if Elliott ends up not having to share as much time with Pollard. But I think it's good
That's
overall.
Pollard.
It's just
I
good.
really, I gotta be honest. I've been dreading this all week, and I'm just gonna say it now. I think that's probably Tony Pollard's team now. Zeke
I
just
think
doesn't,
that it's a true 50-50 timeshare, but
and
I think that
Zeke moves into the Mike Tolbert role now in this
yes,
point in his career. He becomes a touchdown vulture, right?
yeah,
This is like Josh Frederick prime pick, Mike Tolbert. You know what I mean? Like this is what he saw when he did the Fred Jackson trade.
yeah,
It's like, oh, touchdown vulture. He's gonna vulture 3 touchdowns a game. Zeke's actually gonna do it. Last when he played before he got a beat up leg. Um, Vulture 2 touchdowns from Pollard. Pollard did all the
yeah.
work down. Zeke just laid over the 1 yard line. It's the prettiest thing you'll ever see in your life.
Hey, it's points, baby.
Persian King.
Um,
Persian King.
love it. So the last thing that we do
Yeah.
is the side bet. Have
Oh.
you done the side bets before?
This year I've not been in on them
Well,
as
that's
much.
okay. That's okay.
Let's do
So
it.
we do have now 4 different things that you can pick. The first one is pick'ems where it's the confidence pick sheets. That is the one where it's 1 through however many teams are playing. If you think that the Vikings will win against their team, you give that a 16 confidence,
Oh yeah.
right?
You've done
Or
that a few
one through
times.
eight or whatever it is. So that is number one. Call your shot is you get to make a specific bet where you say, I want everyone to call whether it be the who has the most receptions, who has the most rushing yards, who has the most this or that, but it's one specific thing, and each person gets to pick one person to do it. And the person that's closest or top wins. The third is you get to roll a 10-sided dice. We have 10 things that you can do. The fourth one overall is one of the DraftKings bet. And so that's what we did last week. I won. Thank you.
Nice.
But that's a lot of fun. We do it for free. for that one on the site, and you just Venmo $5 like we've done before. And so those are your 4 different choices. What would you like to do?
Roll the 10-sided die, sir.
I knew that you would. I have it right here. And so I will tell you what you get, and you have one reroll if you'd like, but the second reroll, it is final. And so there is
We're gonna go with the first one, no matter what it is.
I
No matter
love
what
it.
it is.
Okay. I have the 10-sided dice. It's a nice green one. And the number is what would the 7. Sorry. I was like, that looks like a 1, but it's also a 7. Okay, it is 7 for sure.
I thought you were gonna say it was like it's a 15, but this is a 10-sided die. Sorry. What's 7, man?
My sheet timed out. I got it again. 7 is longest field goal.
Oh, I love it. Graham Gano, let's go, buddy. Bastion's probably all about this right now too with his boy Justin Tucker.
Yeah. So it is your everyone starts a kicker. Whichever one of those kickers gets the longest field goal.
I'm in. I'm Venmoing you $5 right now. Let's go.
Also, would you like to augment this trade at all? You can't do it on money, but you can change you could change it to the kicker that gets the most field goal yards or gets the longest field goal, which it is.
No, longest field goal. We're going longest field goal. This is simple. I love simple side bets. Everybody's in on it. Everybody should be gambling. This is like what we did at the casino. Everybody puts in $20 and we put it on black and we lost it all.
Yes, we did. Perfect.
$5 is coming your way, buddy.
I love it. You're in, I'm in. We usually have between 5 and 6 people. And so you can only win if you participate, of course, and your participation is the kicker. So Justin Tucker, whoever you are out there.
Hey, do you care if I put Hot Carl on my note for your Venmo?
Do it twice. No symbols. Okay. Well, is there something that you want to close the podcast
out? I just want to say, if you're not first, you're last. And if you aren't trying to cheat, or if you aren't trying, then you're also probably going to lose and be last. Okay. Last week, you guys may have noticed I spent a lot of money on Mike Gesicki. I did that on purpose. I'm going to come clean. I knew Josh needed a tight end. It didn't pay off in the end. But
wait, did you end up spending money on him? And
I spent $25 on him. Yes, I spent $25 to sit Mike Gesicki on my bench. And you know who taught me this lesson, and I'll never forget it. This is, if you're not first, you're last. I was going for 3-peat against Chris Strife in a championship. Yeah. And I knew Chris needed to pick up a quarterback because he was streaming quarterbacks or something happened. And this is also why it's taken me until this year to like Kirk Cousins. Chris picked up Kirk Cousins in the championship game to start over me. And I had the chance to pick Kirk up and to make sure Chris didn't get him.
Right. And you didn't.
And that is why I lost, because of Kirk Cousins. That's why I lost and was not the first 3-peat champion.
That is a great story.
So that's what I want to end on. I love you, Burgart. I would love to be back on the show if you'll have me again anytime. This was wonderful.
I think that we're going to do a show towards the end of the year after we've gotten everyone on, have Chris on one more time alone. And then I think we might have like a round robin, get everybody on and do. I'll have trivia and questions for everyone, and they'll all be on.
I'm so in. We should make this our job next year. That should be our goal. But it might take 10 years.
I don't know that we would make any money on it.
Yeah. Dude, I don't care. Let's get it on YouTube. Let's talk about Hot Carl and Persian Kings and football, and let's do this.
I love it. I love you.
Love you, Burgart.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Have a good night.